Samantha had always been the picture of health, or so she thought. As a busy single mom, she juggled work, taking care of her 2 kids, and managing a household. But lately, something felt off. It started with little things. Bloating after meals, a feeling of heaviness that seemed to last all day, and more frequent headaches than usual. She brushed it off, attributing it to stress or simply not getting enough sleep. However, as the weeks went on, the symptoms didn't go away. They only worsened. Samantha found herself exhausted after what seemed like a full night's sleep. She would feel a sharp, stabbing pain in her stomach after meals, and no matter what she ate, it felt like her gut was in a constant state of turmoil. It wasn't just the physical symptoms, though. Samantha noticed a shift in her mood too. She felt irritable, anxious, and downright depressed at times. One morning, as she sat at the kitchen table staring at her half-eaten bowl of cereal, she had a realization. Her symptoms had become a part of her daily routine. She no longer felt like herself. But what could be causing this? She had always tried to eat healthy foods, salads, lean meats, and plenty of vegetables. She had made an effort to avoid processed foods. Or so she thought. It was then that Samantha's curiosity led her to research gut health. She began learning about the gut-brain connection, the role of probiotics and prebiotics, and how the foods we eat can directly impact the health of our digestive system. The more she read, the more she realized that her diet might be doing more harm than good. Samantha reached out to her doctor, hoping for some answers. After a few tests and a consultation, the doctor informed her that her gut microbiome was out of balance, and that was likely the root cause of her discomfort. She had been unknowingly consuming foods that were aggravating her gut health, and her symptoms were just the tip of the iceberg. Samantha felt a mix of frustration and relief. Frustration because she had been doing what she thought was right, but relief because there was finally an answer to the pain she had been dealing with. Her doctor explained that while she had been making good choices with lean meats and vegetables, she had also been unknowingly harming her gut with a few foods that were thought to be healthy. Her doctor listed some of the biggest culprits: gluten, dairy, and certain types of sugars. While these foods didn't cause an immediate reaction for everyone, they could disrupt the delicate balance of bacteria in her gut. Gluten, a protein found in wheat, barley, and rye, could be particularly problematic for individuals with a sensitive digestive system, leading to inflammation, bloating, and other digestive issues. Dairy, despite its calcium-rich benefits, was another source of trouble for many people, especially those with lactose intolerance or sensitivity to casein, a protein found in milk. And then there was sugar. Samantha had always thought she was making healthy choices by opting for fruit juices and low-fat snacks. But what she didn't realize was that the sugars in these foods, particularly fructose, could be wreaking havoc on her gut. High-fructose corn syrup, commonly found in processed foods, could disrupt gut bacteria and increase inflammation, leading to discomfort and other health issues. Samantha decided to dig deeper. She spent the next few days reading everything she could find on gut health. She learned about the role of gut microbiota in digesting food, the immune system, and even regulating mood. The more she learned, the more she realized how interconnected her gut was with her overall well-being. She also learned that certain foods could actually help heal her gut. Samantha's doctor gave her a new list, this time of foods that could help heal and restore the balance of her gut. It was going to be a challenge, but Samantha was determined to make it work. She began incorporating gut-friendly foods into her meals, focusing on nutrient-dense options that supported digestive health. One of the most important foods on her list was fermented foods. These included foods like sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir, and yogurt. Fermented foods are rich in probiotics, which are live bacteria that can help replenish the beneficial microbes in her gut. These probiotics could restore balance and help with digestion, reducing symptoms like bloating, gas, and discomfort. Next, Samantha added prebiotic-rich foods to her diet. Prebiotics are non-digestible fibers that feed the good bacteria in the gut. She started eating more fiber-rich foods like bananas, garlic, onions, leeks, asparagus, and artichokes. These prebiotics would work in harmony with the probiotics to create a thriving gut microbiome. Samantha also discovered the benefits of bone broth. It was something she had never really considered, but it was packed with collagen, gelatin, and amino acids that help to heal the lining of the gut and reduce inflammation. Drinking bone broth regularly could strengthen her gut barrier and promote overall digestive health. Additionally, she began including more healthy fats in her diet. Avocados, olive oil, and fatty fish like salmon provided the essential omega-3 fatty acids that helped reduce gut inflammation. Healthy fats also supported the production of bile, which was essential for proper digestion. Samantha's meals began to transform. She swapped out her usual cereal for a smoothie bowl made with coconut yogurt, chia seeds, and a handful of spinach. She added a side of sauerkraut to her lunch, and at dinner, she sipped on homemade bone broth while enjoying grilled salmon with a side of roasted asparagus. First, the changes were overwhelming. Samantha had to completely rethink her grocery list, get used to cooking in a new way, and figure out how to balance meals for her kids while still focusing on her own health. There were days when she missed the convenience of grab-and-go snacks, but she knew that if she wanted to feel better, she had to stick to the plan. One of the hardest parts of the transition was cutting back on sugar. She had always enjoyed a sweet treat after dinner, and it was difficult to let go of her beloved sugary snacks. But as the days went by, Samantha started to notice small improvements in her body. The bloating that had plagued her for months began to subside. Her energy levels started to rise, and for the first time in a long while, she woke up feeling rested. Her headaches diminished, and her mood became more stable. Still, there were moments when the cravings hit hard. Samantha found herself eyeing the cookies in the pantry or longing for a cup of sugary coffee. But every time she resisted, she reminded herself of the progress she had made. She also found solace in her newfound knowledge about gut health, and the more she learned, the more motivated she became. A month passed, and Samantha's transformation was undeniable. She felt like a different person. The constant stomach pains, bloating, and fatigue had all but disappeared. Her mood was more balanced, and she had a new sense of clarity that she hadn't experienced in years. Most importantly, her relationship with food had changed. She no longer saw food as the enemy but as a source of nourishment that could support her health in every way. It wasn't just about healing her gut anymore. Samantha realized that by choosing the right foods, she was investing in her future. The foods that healed her gut had a positive impact on her overall well-being, giving her more energy, clarity, and emotional stability. Her kids noticed the change too. They were eating more vegetables and trying new foods, and even though it was still a work in progress, they were slowly developing healthier habits. But Samantha also learned an important lesson about balance. While certain foods had the power to heal her gut, it didn't mean that she had to completely avoid all the foods she loved. It was about moderation. She could enjoy a slice of pizza every once in a while, or have a small treat, but she knew that it was the nutrient-dense, gut-friendly foods that would truly make a difference in the long run. As she sat at the dinner table one evening, enjoying a healthy, gut-healing meal with her children, Samantha smiled. She had found a way to nourish her body and heal her gut, and in the process, she had gained a deeper understanding of how powerful food could be. It wasn't just about avoiding the foods that harmed her gut. It was about embracing the foods that could help her thrive. Even though Samantha felt much better after a month of dietary changes, she knew that healing her gut wasn't an overnight process. It took time to rebuild the delicate balance of bacteria, repair the lining of her intestines, and restore her digestive health. There were still days when she felt a slight discomfort or noticed a bit of bloating after a meal, but those instances were becoming rarer. Her body was adjusting to the new foods, and she was learning to listen to her gut, both figuratively and literally. She began incorporating even more variety into her meals, making sure to include different types of vegetables, fruits, and healthy fats. Samantha discovered that variety was key to feeding her gut microbiome with a wide range of nutrients, which encouraged the growth of diverse bacteria. She found creative ways to incorporate foods like sweet potatoes, cauliflower rice, and chia pudding into her diet. As she did, she noticed a subtle but noticeable improvement in her digestion and energy. Her children, who had initially been skeptical about some of the new foods she introduced into their meals, were beginning to enjoy the healthy meals she prepared. Her younger son, Ethan, loved smoothies with spinach, avocado, and berries, while her daughter, Lily, found herself looking forward to dinners that included roasted root vegetables and grilled chicken. Samantha felt a sense of pride in not only healing herself but also creating a healthier environment for her kids. Yet, it wasn't always smooth sailing. As much as Samantha had embraced her new way of eating, there were moments when she struggled. Social gatherings were a challenge. Friends and family often wanted to meet for dinners or gatherings that revolved around less than ideal food choices. Pizza parties, birthday cakes, and casual barbecues were everywhere. While Samantha was committed to staying on track, it was tough not to feel left out when others indulged in foods she had once loved. One weekend, she attended a friend's birthday party and faced the ultimate temptation. There were trays of buttery garlic bread, greasy pizza, and the most decadent chocolate cake she'd ever seen. For a moment, Samantha was tempted to dive in and forget about her gut health. But as she stood there, watching her friends enjoy their food, she remembered why she started this journey. It wasn't about deprivation. It was about taking control of her health and feeling her best. With a smile, she politely passed on the cake and chose a healthier option from the buffet. She didn't feel deprived. She felt empowered. The choice to stick with her gut-friendly options wasn't about missing out, but rather about making choices that honored her body and the healing process she had begun. As time passed, Samantha's understanding of gut health deepened. She began to appreciate that her gut was not just a digestive organ but a key player in many aspects of her health. Research had shown that an imbalance in gut bacteria could lead to a wide range of issues, everything from chronic fatigue and headaches to mood disorders like anxiety and depression. In fact, the gut-brain connection was one of the most fascinating things she had learned. The gut is often referred to as the second brain due to its direct link to mental health. Samantha read about how gut health could affect serotonin levels, the feel-good neurotransmitter that plays a major role in regulating mood, sleep, and even appetite. Most of the serotonin in the body is produced in the gut, which made her realize how interconnected her mental and physical health truly were. She was no longer just addressing her digestive symptoms. She was learning how to nourish her body in a way that promoted overall well-being. Samantha felt more in tune with her body than she ever had before. She understood that her gut health wasn't just a matter of avoiding certain foods. It was about making a conscious effort to fill her body with the nutrients it needed to thrive. There were still moments when she felt overwhelmed by the sheer volume of information she had absorbed. It was easy to get lost in the complexity of gut health, probiotics, prebiotics, fermented foods, gut permeability, and so much more. But Samantha had learned to trust the process and take it one step at a time. Healing her gut was a journey, and every small change she made added up to significant improvements over time. One of the most important lessons Samantha learned was the value of a balanced, whole food diet. While there were specific foods that could heal the gut, it wasn't just about adding in the right ingredients. It was also about removing or minimizing the foods that caused harm. Refined sugars, processed meats, artificial sweeteners, and certain types of grains could disrupt the gut microbiome and contribute to inflammation. Instead of focusing on what she couldn't have, Samantha found joy in exploring all the nourishing foods she could eat. She discovered a wealth of delicious and healing foods that not only supported her gut, but also nourished her body in ways she had never imagined. For example, she experimented with different types of fermented vegetables, trying out kimchi, fermented carrots, and even kombucha. These new additions became staples in her diet, and she was amazed at how much they enhanced her meals. Samantha also found that eating a variety of whole foods, especially fruits and vegetables, helped support her gut health and overall well-being. Each food had a unique set of nutrients and antioxidants that played a role in reducing inflammation and supporting the body's natural detoxification processes. She began to think of her meals as an opportunity to nourish every part of her body, not just her gut. Her family's grocery shopping trips had also evolved. She now prioritized fresh produce, high-quality proteins, and healthy fats. Samantha found that meal planning helped her stick to her gut-healthy goals and reduce the temptation to reach for processed snacks. She learned to embrace the healing power of food, not as a trend or quick fix, but as a long-term lifestyle change. 6 months into her gut-healing journey, Samantha looked back and marveled at how far she had come. The physical and mental changes were astounding. The stomach pains, bloating, and fatigue were virtually non-existent. Her mood was stable, and she had a newfound sense of energy and vitality. She no longer felt like she was at war with her body. Instead, she felt in sync with it, knowing that the foods she ate were supporting her health in the best way possible. Samantha knew that healing her gut was an ongoing process, and she would continue to fine-tune her diet and lifestyle as she learned more. But for now, she was content with the progress she had made. She felt empowered by the knowledge that the food she chose every day had a profound impact on her health. Her journey had not only improved her own life, but also helped her family. Her children were becoming more aware of the importance of healthy food choices. And even though they still indulged in treats from time to time, they were more open to eating nutritious meals. Samantha felt proud of the example she was setting for them and hopeful that they would carry these habits into adulthood.